welcome to DataBiome channel. Today let's discuss about LM Studio. So if you want to run any kind of open source model on your local machine, then LM Studio tool is quite handy. So let's understand today's agenda. First of all, we are going to understand a bit about LM Studio and the installation process. Then we will focus on model capabilities and LM Studio UI walkthrough. Then we will see how to search, download, load, eject, and delete model. And after that, there will be a demo to see how to chat with the local LLM model in LM Studio. And then we will try to understand how it will work for image and any document data format like PDF or any Excel sheet with the help of Rec concept in LM Studio. This is the official website of LM Studio. I will paste all links, so don't worry. lmstudio.ai, and you get the impression looking at the page that it will run AI models locally and privately. So when we run any open source model, there are two main advantages we got. First of all, it will run locally on your machine, so the data resides locally. And another thing is you can run this model without using even internet, and that's why it's quite useful. In case of frontier models like OpenAI models or Claude ones, the data will go to the servers, so sometimes it's not secure, especially in case of any kind of confidential data. But of course, they are much more powerful than open source model. But open source model can be used to certain use cases where there is no need to use any frontier models. And of course, it's free of cost. So this website, first of all, go to the models and see there is a model catalog. Notice that they talk about the model capabilities. Now, when we talk about model capabilities, there are mainly three. First is the tool usage. So when we say tool, it means MCP protocol tools, and with the help of tools, you can take any action on the corresponding target resource. Second is whether they support reasoning or not. So reasoning models are much more capable of analyzing complex use cases. And the third one is whether they can process any image data or not. You can sort on the basis of download, stars, and model size as well. And notice that Greenlight 4.1 comes in three flavors. So 3 billion, 8 billion, 30 billion. Model size is something that gives you an idea about the capability of any model, and more the billion parameters, more is the capabilities or the analysis power. Now, why we use billion parameters? Because all of these large language models trained on variety of data, and they store in terms of parameter, and it's all statistics and probability which happen in a unique and delicate way inside these LLM models. So they are never deterministic. What it means, if you give any input to these models, any large language model, there is no guarantee that you will get the same response. And it happens due to a variety of reasons. I don't want to go to details, but just wanted to highlight. So the problem with these models is, or I will say limitation is, they are non-deterministic. So they're not like programming where it will go to, if you have if-else logic, it will go to either if or else, things like that. Okay, so you can see the downloads, the stars. I don't know what is this. Okay, it means there are three models. Okay, 3 billion, 8 billion, 30 billion. Fine. And you can try and play with any of these models. Remember that more the billion parameter, more the RAM is required on your system. Let's go to docs now. You will see lots of documentation here. They even have REST APIs, which we will discuss in the next lecture. But let's see something important, the installation process. So if I go to the LM Studio, there is a download button. So if you click on that, you will see the download option for Mac OS, Windows, and Linux. And notice that for Windows, we have x86 and ARM64. Both options are provided here. And same true about Linux machine as well. So I'm using a Mac OS. I've already downloaded. It's straightforward. There's nothing much to show. And basically two tools in the market which are quite famous for running any open source model. First is LM Studio. Now LM Studio cater the needs for business analysts, project managers, Scrum Master, less technical people basically. But there is another tool called LLaMA. So let me just, this is the page or website of LLaMA. And LLaMA is more for technical audience. We are going to make a video on LLaMA soon. As of now, let's restrict our discussion to LM Studio. So straightforward installation. Once you install, you will get an application like this. And this application is again very simple layout. First is it will show you the chat option where you can chat with the open source model, and then there is a local server which will allow you to reach to this large language model. You can interact with this model on this endpoint. And of course, you can interact with even MCP server in case it support tools. So all of these things we will see later. And then there is the REST API support, which we will discuss again later. And there are even endpoints for OpenAI. So if you are familiar with OpenAI APIs, then you can use this. And even for Anthropic, they have compatible endpoints. So let's see another option, that is the My Models. So here you will be able to see the models which you have downloaded. And there are two models currently I have downloaded, Mistral and Coin. And notice the size 3 GB and 6.5 GB. So I am having a machine, the 24 GB machine. So this much size is not a problem. But if I download a larger one, I might struggle and it may not work well. Again, you will see the details, the model, the file, the format, the quantization. Quantization is a technique that helps in reducing the size of these models. Otherwise, it's not possible to run or locally on our system. So quantization, there is a certain algorithm used, in this case Q4KM. And then there's capabilities, domain, size on disk, you will see everything. Then under load, you will see certain options, GPU offload. Then there's a context length that is important. So context length or context window is nothing but as you keep on prompting in a single session, the session start filling the context window. And once the context window reach, the model will start forgetting the data. So there are certain things you should know about model like temperature. So the more the temperature, more the randomness it will introduce. So for pics, audio, video, more temperature is great. But in case you want to analyze data, doing certain kind of engineering, any AI workflows, then it should not be high, because the lesser the value, the more deterministic a large language model will become. And of course, then the context overflow, what it will take, what action it will take. So it will truncate middle, or it can rolling window, stop at limit. There are many options, and there are other option as well. So you can explore further. So let's see the settings option. So you need to go to the bottom left, click on this, and then, so let's understand. In the general settings, it will show the LLM Studio version. You can check for updates. So I have already installed the latest version, and you can also download beta version in case you want to do. Then in the app language, you can change your language. Of course, they all are in beta. And then there's general settings regarding the download. This is important. You can change this location in case you want to change. But the default location is users.lmstudio/models, and app home directory is again user.lmstudio. Report bug or send feedback. Then in the appearance, if you want to change the theme, you can change to dark one if you are fond of dark ones. Then of course you can choose the view mode. You can also change the font size, font weight, and there are some other options in the reasoning section. If you are a developer, you can enable the developer mode, and then there are some other option. Under the chat, again, you can customize some chat options. Then move the deleted chats and folder to trash, and then it's some keyboard shortcuts. In the model defaults, the image input, you can customize if you don't want to exceed 2048 pixel, and then this is again an important one, default context length. So if you want that context length of window to a custom value, you can customize, and that will be applicable for models, or you can leave the model maximum as it is, and then it depends on the model you are using. Under the model loading guardrails, leave everything as it is, as this is the recommended one. And if you don't want any system overload issues. And in integration, if you are creating any kind of MCP tool configuration, then it will list here. Under the system, there is a runtime that will show you GGUF, MLX, and then there are engines data. And in the hardware again, it will show the CPU and GPUs. I'm using Apple M5 Pro 2026 model, and then there's again a resource monitor and everything else here. Now let's see how can we first download the model. First, let's see search option. So the last option here is model search. If you click on that, you can see all the models. So if I type Queen, I can see all the Queen models we have here. And then Gemma from Google. And it has all the main models which are currently available. Great. It is even a model called Nemotron, but it needs, yeah, it's a small one, 2.84 GB. Great. So we have seen how to search models. Now let's download a new model that will be Gemma. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to, yeah, it's 6.33 GB. So full GPU offload possible. And let's download it. Click on download. All right, just finished with the downloading. Now you can directly load using this option. So if I click on load model, it will load the model, and it's currently loading the model. You can see the progress bar. We can create a new folder. The model has been loaded, as you can see here. And I can, of course, create a new folder. Let's say LLM chats. I need to click on this, and then I can create a new chat in this. Let's rename to Gemma. Click on this, then only it will reflect. Fine. Now it can think. If you want to turn on the reasoning mode, then it will do this. So you can enable or disable. If I click on this, then it will disable. If I click again, it will enable. For vision again, you can use image data to analyze. And then we can chat with file always. When you click on chat with file, notice that I need to go here. Notice that the RAG V1, this is again a plugin that will allow you to interact with your documents. And if I again click on that, it will disable. You can also enable or disable here. And with the help of integration, you can download even other plugins. So that's all possible. Now let's start with who are you? So we got the response from our local LLM model, Gemma 4. Great. Now notice that there are some icons again. It will show you tokens, what's the stop reason, how much time, and then you can regenerate the message. If I click on that, it will regenerate. And what I mean by being not deterministic, these models, if I again regenerate, notice that it will not give you the exact same text. See, because these models are non-deterministic. You should always remember that. Now again, you can create a branch chat after this image. You can copy this message. You can edit message, and you can also delete message. So you have all the features. But remember that as I am giving the prompt like so 403 tokens. Now if I again ask something, what is capital of USA? Enter. So the capital of USA is Washington, D.C. Now let's go again and see it consumed 19 tokens. So how to calculate tokens is not easy, but think of it 75% percent of word used. Prompting is a technique you should know how to write better prompts. So I will write a bit better. As a historian, let's give it a role. Analyze or summarize the main events of World War Three. Now, guys, we know there is no World War Three, but let's see what model will say. And we will say in 5 bullet points. Great. So it's able to identify that we're asking about World War Three. The World War Three has not occurred. But I have noticed if I use some other model, then it will hallucinate and start giving me some random events of 2035, 2037. Better you test everything with different kinds of prompts. You can ask anything, write a program, or maybe as a Python developer, create a Python program that checks whether string is palindrome or not. Now there's some spelling mistake, but LLM's intelligent enough to understand. And we got the program. Notice it has given with the proper string and comment added. And this looks fine to me. It's also talking about complexity analysis, alternative method, 2 pointers. So looks okay. Now if I disable the think mode, then if I ask next question, explain 2 pointers solution. So it will not show you how it's thinking, but you will get the output. Great. So we can copy, as I said before, copy this message and paste anywhere else it's possible like this. Control Z. And let's see uh, how to analyze any kind of picture with the help of this model. So I will click on plus, and then there's an integration option as well. Integration is again for any kind of MCP tools. So we will click on attach and attach image. So I will attach LLaMA, the image of LLaMA. This is basically a YouTube thumbnail, and click on open. Analyze the image. You can see how it's thinking, identify the request, analyze the image content, determine the image purpose, meaning, and synthesis. Great. This image is highly stylized piece of digital art that function as an informational guide or promotional visual for a specific technical topic running large language models, LLMs locally using a tool called LLaMA. Great. So it has understood what is there in the image. You can see the background, the text overlays. So it has done a decent job. And because we have downloaded multiple models, let's load another model. So I can click here, open model loader, and then I can use eject. So eject is you want to keep this model out of the RAM now so that you want to bring another model. And the reason we are doing this because I am having 24 GB machine, it might create problem. So I will eject and now I can load another model. So I will select now Quint 3.5 9 billion parameters for 9B. Great. So again, it support vision, it supports thinking, reasoning, but it won't support any tools usage. As per the text, it might. Okay, so again, let's attach image, LLaMA, open, analyze the image. Let's see. Generally, a bit faster, but today I realized a bit slow. Okay, so now it's thinking. Start with a high level summary, break down the visual elements, and now it's creating the output. So LLaMA an open source tool used to run large language models locally on a computer. Great. So it has done a decent job. Let's again go to model loader and I will eject and use Gemma. Now let's see how can you process any documents data. So I will go again, click on plus and attach file this time. So I will attach a glossary wheel. You can see there's a price list. Click on open. Now it's a PDF file that you attach. I will say as a, okay, I will say summarize the bill. It has two language, Hindi and English. So summarize the bill and create a output summary in a tabular format. It will use this plugin to read the data and it will inject that data, provide the data to the LLM, and then LLM will analyze and come up with a strategy. So you can see it's analyzing the source data, the so document is titled price list from organic pastry, it's understanding about the structure by categories, grain pulses, nuts and seeds and spices, and then it's analyzing all the cost. It's item English Hindi, so it understands the language, and now it has created. And it looks great. It's able to segregate the text, the organic basmati rice that is in Hindi language now, and it is mentioned in the Indian currency rupee. Same true about nuts and seeds data and the spices. So it has done a great job. Of course, I can ask about the same now. Create output in JSON format for products and prices. So up to us what we want to do, what kind of format we want to use, and see it has generated the JSON format as well. And notice the key value pairs, English name, Hindi name, and the price. Great. So we can do anything. Create a CSV file for this data. Okay, it cannot save, that's fine, but it has generated the data. Great. So it has done a decent job. Let's see how can we chat with a CSV file now. So click on plus, attach file, upload file. Notice that you can only upload up to 5 files at a time with a maximum combined size of 30 MB. So this is the restriction they have placed, and the supported formats again include PDF, docs, text, and CSV. And we need to be specific that it's true about every prompt, and we need to again check the responses and experiment with different models and see which one work best for any use case. So click on upload file. Let me upload this test.csv. It has lots of data, but there are inconsistencies in the data, lots of data quality issues. Uh, there are blanks, there are nulls values. So click on open and let us the model as a data analyst prepare a summary of data quality issues in test file. So first, it will inject the data from this document using the RAG V1 plugin. And then once it's done, the model start analyzing. Started analyzing, and then it's trying to identify all the data quality issues. It's identifying patterns now, types of errors, and then structure the report. Okay, and it's very elaborate. It's even suggesting action plan and a summary of priority action. Great. So I think it has done a great job, and we can see and understand a lot about the data and the inconsistencies and the data quality issues, of course. So great. Uh, Let me show you that it can generate a report in even other language. So if you're French, Italian, Spanish, and if you want to understand in your language, of course you can. So I can say generate uh, in Spanish a summary. Of course, it's not a great prompt, but LLM can understand this. And it is generating now the Spanish summary. Great. You can see the context length is 131072 and 1699996 is currently occupied. Just see this 13%. So if you click, it will change to 13%. And once this context window or length reached, then it will start forgetting. So if I'm clicking, it's changing. Yeah. If your percentage, you can click again. And if you just want to see the actual count, you can see this. Great. There are some other options as well. So you can change. And for help section also, you can use for blog, website, and technical documentation. And there's even a settings option here. Let's now understand how can we delete the model. So go to My Models, click on three dots, and then you can delete the model. If you click on this, there will be a warning that this will permanently delete all files and this action is irreversible. Once you selected that, the model will be deleted. In the next tutorial, we will discuss about the APIs, we will discuss about the MCP server and lot many other things. And even they have a SDK for Python and TypeScript. So thank you so much. Hope you will find it useful. And if you have a good machine, go and check these models, play with them, and understand more about how these LLM works. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and have a nice day.